Right then, not sure if this is beginning a new vlog or not, so I've got to open it up with what I normally do, otherwise people get upset and start commenting, and I think they give us thumbs down as well, not too sure. So, I've just got back from being away over the weekend. There's been a couple of people squirreling away, Paul and Scott mainly I believe, and then James has been roped in as well, trying to get this sorted. It's way too close to what I thought we'd want. It's now, what day is it today? Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday, and we're testing first thing in the morning at Oulton Park, and then Friday we'll be testing at Brands Hatch in preparation for the race on Saturday. So it's very, very close to the wire. Obviously, if we have a major problem, this car ain't going. And obviously, we built the gearbox and engine, full chassis. It's had all different. It's going to have different tyres that we don't normally run for the wet. We've got a different V-box system we don't normally run. We've got a different dash system we don't normally run. There's a lot going on. So I'm hoping we've done our research, we've done the preparations needed, and it all works. So we're just on the dyno now, and one of the things that we had problems with, I'll cut to a picture because it's buried inside the car, but because we're running a normal actuator, we've had to make a little, like a control board that interfaces between the actuator and the normal actuator position sensor and the N75, just to tell the ECU it's doing as it's told, stop messing about basically. We did try deleting it in the ECU, we've done it on the CityGo successfully, but for some reason we were having a bit of grief on my Ibiza, and we knew this was going to be heavily based on the Ibiza more than the CityGo. So as a belt and braces, we got this made that little control board and hoped that that had solved the problem. But if you look what's happened here now, this is the exhaust pressure on the last run, doing nearly 4 bar, and then literally the run before it was doing 2.2 bar, which when you're requesting 2.2 bar of boost is absolutely fine, and it tapers off nicely to the top of the rev, so it'll be less EMP than boost. The only thing that we changed between them two runs was shortening the actuator a tiny little bit, so we're not sure if that solution's working. We're going to make sure we take a couple of options with us tomorrow for the test, and we're going to have to run an EMP gauge into the car as well. Bit annoying really, bit frustrating, but this is what happens when you build stuff differently to how you normally build it. You have to have some contingencies in place. So while I've been off, they've done some testing. If you notice, the standard airbox has gone. We're pulling about 200 millibar back pressure with the airbox. I'm not sure that's too much. I think that should be fine. I think we're not far off that with the air filter. So that was just a quick test. But we've not had time to do too much evaluation. We're just taking stuff off. The DPF's been took off the back as well, just to rule that out for now, because we ain't got time to be swapping and changing and evaluating things perfectly. So we just thought, put stuff back to how we normally have it. We'll do some more finishing touches later on. Inside, we've got, now we were going to have the Cosworth dash, so this bracket, which I think you could hold half a car up with that bracket, Paul. You've gone a bit mental with that.
It doesn't shake though.
No, it doesn't shake, that's good. But this bracket is holding the aim dash. This aim dash came with the Leon that we got, but this has took like 20 minutes to set up to work with this car. Just literally run the cam wires to it. You just tell it that it's this is running a B3 ECU. Just tell it it's running a B3 ECU, doing X, Y, Z, and everything just works. So we've got a shift light that works, got coolant, oil temp, air temp, boost pressure. It's all just working straight in that. So that's just to get us going. Until then we get the Cosworth dash, because we're going to feed loads more stuff into the Cosworth dash for evaluation. But whether we need it or not, I'm not too sure. But that's in there anyway. It's got some extra drill holes to fit the Cosworth dash in as well. So the brakes are all bled up. The pressure switch is in, which you can't really see that. We've got the bias adjuster. That's all sorted, so that, I don't know if Danny can see what it adjusts. If you look down there, Danny, you can have to use your own camera. That turns that. But the ABS is going to do most of the biasing. so that's not really a big deal. The shifter's all in and working. Apparently the cables have loosened up a bit because I did feel a little bit stiff. We've got the accelerometer for the ABS just hiding there as well. That's not really required, but what that does on the factory ABS systems on everybody's cars, if you get into a spin, the best way to stop is the brakes are locked, not the ABS pulsing and trying to stop the wheels from locking. So that's why we've left that in there. So that should work pretty good. We're just doing a little bit of work to drop the steering column down. That's the next job for Scott. The V-box is in, but the tyre temp and pressure monitoring is not in there, so we're going to have to work a bit later tonight to do that. But the problem is as well, I can say it because this is coming out after, but it's Mike's 40th birthday, so we're all surprising him up at a go-kart track. He thinks he's going to a museum that's right corner or whatever, and his missus is going to say, oh, see if these will let us in, and I'm going to surprise him there. So anyway, everything's in here. Couple of little finishing touches. Power-wise, obviously people did see what it was doing. And torque, let me just load the torque graph up and get rid of the exhaust pressure because that's annoying me. We're a little bit lazier than I want to be. Still 3300 for peak boost, so that's definitely something in the mapping. I'm doing 246 horsepower, which is a bit more than we need really. So 340, 330 foot-pound, 240 horsepower. A little bit more than we need. I'd like to have a lot more torque, sort of want to be doing peak boost at 2600, something like that. And then peak power only needs to be about 220s, something like that. But we've not actually got the final weight with some fuel in it this either. So we'll see how we get on. Hopefully, there's probably not going to be much time to film this before we get out tomorrow. I'll try and do some stuff with my phone and we'll go from there. So just Oulton Park, here in the Golf, just doing the final adjustments in that. Didn't really record things first thing, so a bit mental, they were banging it down. Scott's been out in the layout, he's liking that. So this is going to be the first time I've ever driven this car. Wish me luck. Unorthodox vlog. I've still got my helmet in my hand, so I'm going to take it all completely off. Having tons of fun in the Golf. Really, really good. Hopefully we're able to put the cheeky drift down out the first corner. It's pretty slippy. It don't look as bad as it is, but it's very, very slippy today, so hopefully it almost too bad. Really enjoy it. point, I'm sure he'll pass behind us. We've just swapped to the dry tyres, the Yokohama AO52s. I think there's a fairly dry line on the track. I'm not sure if it's coming through quite very well, but it's yeah, pretty good. It's coming pits for some reason. When he came in last time, we picked up an ABS fault. We'd rammed the car up on the stands, and that obviously faults the rear ABS sensors. And then for some reason it wouldn't clear, so we had a bit of fussing about getting that done. But what lap times you done?
2:03.5, and I was up nearly 2 seconds on that before they
so we're going to be less than 2 minutes, and it's still pretty damp, I'd say.
There's a few bits where you're having to shut off where you normally be flat.
You don't want to be flat and have to shut off, so we're on the Yokohama tyres now, so I'm going to go for a run in it, see what I reckon. The Lions there waiting in the wings, running in case we have another problem, and that's on the Yoko tyres. So we'll see what happens with this. Get out of it now. The end of another good day. We managed to get out in the Golf for quite a bit. There should be some decent footage of being shown, hopefully, if Danny can find it. Did some really good laps. When we come back, had a look at the data, we've done some pretty good lap times as well, considering it was still damp in places. And the engine's not quite at the power that we're going to want it to be at. So, plenty to do. And we had one mechanical problem whatsoever, not one loose ball, one loose nut. to tweak, change, adjust. Everything just worked perfect. The setup that we decided to come on for a damp/wet day has worked perfect. Definitely room for improvement if you want dry. And then lap times they're up there with what we need to be. Didn't really get much chance to drive the lane. I don't think there'll be any footage of that. Maybe a bit of on-track footage from the side of the track. I'm not too sure. Yeah, really good. Hopefully it's been a decent video. Like I say, I'm not sure what we're going to get from it. Really happy. Everybody should be very happy with themselves. Give themselves a pat on the back. And hopefully, if everything was to plan this weekend, the lads might get a bit more than a pat on the back.